Feature Friday.
The freshest.
Okay,
Wow.
so this is by your guys' comments, a hidden track, a track that actually, if you're probably new to BTS or you've been a long time ARMY, you probably perhaps don't even know this song existed. RM made it with the sort of idea of he didn't want it to be super promoted, he wanted it to be hidden,
Right.
so that when people needed this song, they would find it, or the song would find them.
Well, here we are.
And apparently
we found you. You helped us find the song.
The lyrics apparently are, sort of very touching, and it's a very good song. Apparently, I don't know. We will do a comprehensive review of it. But there's no video, there's no anything like that. It's just this lyric video that we found. So let's give it a watch. And yeah, this is a hidden track, so it's super cool because BTS is so fucking famous. So
Love that.
perhaps we can introduce some people to this song. And I would recommend you to go to the original and stream the original and support it. Perhaps share it with someone that you think might want to hear it.
Again, if you haven't heard it and this is your first time, please go back to the original and come back to this later.
Yes.
Right, let's have a look. Atmospheric.
Let's go C. That was appropriate. Could be the beach. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I love that YOUNITE picture that they chose for this. So cool.
Isn't he just one of the best pop vocal, he's got some of the best pop vocal riffs and pop vocal runs?
Yeah.
It's so pop, you know what I mean? Like, when you think of Jungkook, you think of like pinnacle pop.
It's like what every pop artist should be.
Or wants to be, right?
Or
Essentially,
wants to
yeah.
be.
It's so mad because you probably say that to him and he'll be like,
Haha.
okay.
What?
Yeah, he'll be like, yeah, I don't know, man.
I want to be like everybody else.
Yeah, he'll probably be like, I want to be like this person,
Yeah.
or be like, I'd look up to this person. But I guess that's just how they are. But
Yeah.
that's so weird. The way, like that riff,
Very good.
It's like the typical that everyone loves to do. But it fucking works. It's so pop. Go on.
And the thing is, that probably took him like one take.
Yeah, probably. I don't know.
On the studio.
어찌어찌 걸어바다에 왔네 이 바다에서 나는 해변을 봐 I don't know 아직도 모래바람에 있는지
Harmonies, dog.
내가 지금 파도를 느끼고 있는지 I don't know 아직도 모래바람에 쫓기고 있는지 I know 나야말로 내가 의지할 곳이란 저기 생각해
We'll go, because I mean, plenty of bars and fucking lots of lyrics. So we'll go section by section. It's interesting because not many people actually have that. What would you call it? They've never looked at the sea as perhaps a blue desert rather than a sort of a. Because you think of water as life, don't you?
Correct.
But essentially, I mean, the sea is an absolute. It's
Beach.
deserted. It's just there's nothing in the surface, to what's available to humans.
Correct.
Because we can't live on the water, we can't breathe. So it's really intriguing to look at it in that manner. And actually, as a matter of fact, it's a bizarre form of harshness to that. If you look at those people that kind of become lost at sea and all that stuff, because you can't drink it, but it's like it's available. You can't drink that water. It'll make you thirstier than ever.
Yes.
Sort of alluding to the RM line. And then there's no escape. But below it, there's flourishing life. But above it, there's nothing, bro. Mm-hmm. That's such a clean use of an imagery for the sea.
It's a
Right.
really good, again, it's a really interesting perspective from the musical composition to where exactly the song could have been directed.
It's like stranded kind of thing.
Again, because I like the fact that it is a rap forward type of track up to this point.
Yep.
And given the fact that you're talking about like inner turmoils and a shift of perspective on like seeing the vastness as a desertic environment rather than a plentiful, resourceful situation, like environment per se. And I like that it's driven with tension through the rap, and there hasn't been any singing to soothe out the harsh edges of the song, even though melodically speaking is so
Nice.
very
With the guitar and
ballad forward.
Yeah.
Right. It's a nice
you can
contrast.
pack. I think also probably the reason why they go on rap is because you can probably you can pack a lot of message and lyricism and ideologies.
I also think it exposes the idea of that duality perspective, the beauty of the ocean, but as well as how difficult the mental space in which we're hearing the song in too.
What?
So I think I'll let them marinate because I can't really explain it, but it's a really good juxtaposition of both the fact that it's rap and not singing. It's not smooth. It's not because you can pack more lyricism into
But
it.
that's because it's a turmoil rather than a melodic song.
But
it's not a lovey-dovey song.
Exactly, but it's a good juxtaposition of like is the same way as you see the sea as the desert. You see?
Sure.
No? Oh, okay.
No, you're pretty right. I don't know.
I know 나 야만로 네가 의지할 곳이란 곳을 좋게 생각해 먼지 감기 불안하더라도 사막일지라도 아름다운 남의 사막이라고 바다인 줄 알았던 여기는 되려 사막이었고 여기 없는 중수 아이돌이 두 번째 이름이었어.
Isn't that fucking such a harsh reality if you're like an idol, right? It's like someone else's dream and someone else's opportunity you've taken.
Oh, correct. You're in the place of
someone
somebody
else's TV broadcast spot.
Correct.
Just because of odd time, destiny, fate, whatever the fuck you like to call it. You've taken that. So that's such a mad, like countless people get cut from the broadcast, but someone's empty spot is our dream, right? And then I guess and then you could interpret that as well. It's like vice versa.
Correct.
That's the dream, right, for us. But now we've taken someone else's dream. But I guess the other side of the coin is as you're inspiring other people as well. You're telling them it's possible. They say some of these kids can't make it because their agency is too small. They're obviously talking about themselves back in the day. I wonder when this song came out. Go on.
회사가 작아서 제대로 못 듣 거래 안 하나 봐 한밤에서 일곱이 잠을 청하던 시절도 신기름 잡고
He's so fast.
들었던 사막은 위에 피땀 눈물로 겨바다가 됐어
Nice
그 사이에 영원히 사막이잖아 달려주면 서울까지
Okay, so also, I mean, cool to hear them. I mean, that's why I'm interested to see what time frame this was when they created this.
Yeah.
I would imagine, but like 17, 18.
Yeah.
So they were experiencing some success. 2017, it says there.
Right.
It's a hidden track, Love Yourself, Her. Yeah, because those memories still of, because right there, they were like on the up. Right now, they're probably, at fucking some of the highest.
Also
music.
Consolidated in the music industry overall.
There, they were becoming consolidated, right?
That's
so
right.
those
they were
memories.
paving the way.
Yeah, those memories of the mirage of success were really, really vivid because you were all just sleeping in one room literally 5 years ago. You know what I mean? 7 years ago as being trainees, maybe even prior to that. That's why looking at those documentaries like from Vice or looking at their own documentaries is so interesting because it's so ruthless, like it's so mental. And now given the fact that we do speak to a few K-pop idols a month, by the way, this week we're joined by YOUNITE. I would highly encourage you. They're a debuting group. They're doing really well though. They're with brand new music. But show them all the support. Do tune in on Sunday, Feature Friday Plus, 12 p.m. UK time, where we get a chance to discuss with them. There's subtitles, so there's no worries about the fact that they only speak Korean. I know even some of you guys tune in and you'll be like, no, I've watched enough K-dramas and I know enough Korean to watch this and support. And it's like, that's so nice. We don't have to.
You can turn on the captions and you don't have to work as hard.
Yeah, so, and it's so intriguing now in the position that we're kind of on, thanks to you guys, where we can speak to these guys and maybe they can look back at some of these interviews in the future and they can see where they were at.
And they're open enough to share some of their struggles,
personal stuff. Yeah.
As in and how the dynamic actually works. It's a really tough environment. It just put it into consideration, like the way that the trainee system works. So whether it's in Korea, well, especially in Korea, how we're seeing it now. But say for example, you study arts here in the UK, and you move out, you get placed in accommodations, right? So like you have to get along with 7 other people for the first time, if maybe 12 people in one building, right?
And you're all in the hope
you're all
becoming...
fighting for the same spot. You're all constantly competing with each other, but you are also each other's foundation. You are each other's moral support at the same time. It's a really complicated, psychologically speaking, it's a very complicated environment, and you get
rough, man.
and it's so out of the blue. Like, one day you're living with your parents, next day you are completely alone in this building with a bunch of other people that are trying to fight for the same dream that you have. So it's a very complicated,
it's not only
perspective.
It is competitive in that sense. I think also because
Especially
you
as
get
a
dropped.
trainee.
You get
Especially
dropped,
as a trainee.
and that's kind of your dream down and stuff like that. I mean, I'm sure people have seen that documentary. Like, I was nearly in BTS. Yeah. It's like, that's how ruthless that shit is. You know what I mean? It's like, one day yes, one day no. See you later. Have a good life. And now they're the biggest group in the fucking planet, and it's like. You're hitting
and then you have the horror stories that happen more often than BTS. That is, they debut, they get through it, and 11 months later they're
so it is an unlikely you are very unlikely to see success. It is a mirage. It's a dream that's been sold to you, and the fact that's why they probably hold on to that idea of the spectacle, and even now that they're living it, they probably still hold it, and that's why they maintain such humbleness. It's nice to see it in that specific moment, and I would imagine someone who would express it the best would be someone like Sugar, who his age at the moment as well. He's kind of like physically and mentally peaking, and also he was one of the oldest as well there, so he probably had some perspective that some of the younger guys didn't have. But then also it's mad how John Cook, that was his maturation process, right? He probably matured faster than all of them, because I mean, there's plenty of videos to suggest otherwise. But in a more serious sense, like when you're exposed to that type of pressure since a young age, that has to create an absolute fucking machine.
Yeah, it shapes you in a completely different manner. Obviously, I love to understand that this is a RM composition, like the whole innate idea.
Probably it feels like it.
Yes, right. So it's really cool. That creative freedom can't be taken away. That's priceless. What a cool freaking harmony.
The world.
What a cool freaking track.
I think I really like the message too, because it's not this sort of typical song of there's going to be struggle, stuff like that, but it's more like where there is despair, struggle, sadness, suffering, you can utilize that as your sort of superpower. There is an untold source of power in struggle. There is an untold source of power and benefit in having gone through despair or going through despair right now. You just must keep your sense of hope.
Correct.
That's the only thing you can't give up. You can be sad, you can be angry, you can be in despair, you can be in the struggle, you can suffer. That's necessary actually for the human experience. But you cannot be willing, not even be willing to lose the idea of hope. Because that's when everything becomes a desert. That's when everything becomes lifeless. But in these lifeless moments, there is the opportunity of life. There is the opportunity of success. There is an idea, a seed that can be grown from all this suffering, despair, darkness. And one thing is for sure: if there is darkness, there's light, and if there's light, there's darkness, and if there's hope, there's despair, and if there's despair, there's also hope. So in that you can find an immense amount of strength, and it's literally like an untold fountain of power that people forget about.
Correct.
But you must suffer. You have to be in despair. You have to be sad sometimes. You have to be angry. You have to go through incredible amount of failures and struggles in order to then achieve achieve beyond that. And that's where you find the light, the hope, the happiness, the success. And they're a great example of that. Immense amount of struggle, immense amount of success. So perhaps the ideology, it's it couldn't be better spoken by than individuals that have achieved such polarities, going through, you know, living in a fucking room that had like 7 beds, and that place was not livable, bro. I wouldn't pass the regulations. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but
agree.
you go through that struggle.
Yeah.
You go through that. You keep your head up. You don't give up hope, and you fight like your life depends on that. And it does, because if not, you drown in that sea.
Yeah.
You know, but it makes you thirsty too. So it gives you that ability, that hunger. You know, maybe one day I'll have my own bed. We'll have our own hotel rooms. You know, that's why they're probably so happy when they go to the hotel rooms. You know, they're so fucking buzzed. Do you remember the fucking days, bro? You know, when we were all in school and stuff still, and you had to keep up with fucking V snoring or this, you know what I mean? Or we had to fight for the same shower. We speak to some cable providers, and it's like, it's hard at the beginning. It's rough because it's an investment. And these labels are, especially the labels that are trying to make new things and become with unique examples and unique concepts, they are fighting a battle against the odds, you know?
Constantly. Yeah, it's a really harsh world. It's
Tough!
And I think those harshness and like the perception of suffering, it's so subjective to individuals, right? Because everybody goes through their own type of hard moments, and we all have to fight for our own things and in a constant daily manner. So it's when you see this, you hear songs like this, you read books like that, ignite that thought process, you art that expresses that type of like suffering with grace type thing, like never losing the ability to keep fighting, never losing the ability to see beauty within the deserted island that we might be stranded upon. I think it goes past the point of inspirational, and it goes through, is borderline motivational. Like it hits a point where
synonyms of each other.
No, because inspiring, like, oh, it allows you to create something. But I find that motivation actually it's like turning on the engine. It's like emotion inducing.
Yeah. Okay.
So that at least that's how I see the difference.
I don't know. I'm just presuming. I agree though.
I'm not a linguist, so I wouldn't know. But
I agree though.
That's at least my perspective.
You look at something motivational, it's sort of
it's like it
next motion.
Yeah, it's like that kickstart.
Yeah,
you know, it's like the initiation of the engine, like that spark.
Well, I hope. Perhaps if you didn't know about the song, or perhaps the review itself, or if you would like to fucking get motivated, listen to this song.
It's great.
Very good. Let us know perhaps if you'd like us to do this with other groups. I'm more than happy to check out songs that
hidden tracks.
Hidden or underrated. That's kind of the word that goes around on TikTok and all that shit. So let me know in the comments. Let us know in the comment section below. And if you like to tag Bali on anything, like on Instagram or TikToks or videos or things,
you can do that at WLSK15 on both Instagram and TikTok. Okay.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.